and welcome back to Audrey Pathfinder. I'm Audrey, and on this podcast, I interview amazing people from all kinds of careers. Today's guest is an elite Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu athlete, a European no-gi champion, a gym owner, a banking professional, and a brand new mom. Please welcome Joe.
Thank you so much for having me, Audrey. I am so excited to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Let's get started. Question 1. How did you first discover Jiu-Jitsu? And how old were you when you started?
So I was 22 when I first found Jiu-Jitsu. I discovered Jiu-Jitsu by chance. I was doing other sports. I was doing track and field and volleyball competitively, but I was getting a little bit tired from those sports. And so I was looking for a sport that is fun and you don't have to go to the gym and just lift weights by yourself. I wanted to have friends when I do my sport. So I went to a boxing gym. And there was a coach teaching jiu-jitsu, and I tried it, and I really liked it. Boxing was a little bit harder because there's, punches, and I didn't like the punches. But jiu-jitsu, there's no punches, and it's just kind of like playing with a friend, and I really like that.
Question 2. When you aren't on maternity leave, what does a normal day look like for you?
This will depend on whether I'm competing, whether I'm getting ready for a competition or not, but I'll tell you just a regular day. So on a regular day, I would wake up around 6 or 6:30, and then I'll take about an hour to get ready. So I'll shower and have breakfast and get ready for work. And then it takes me about an hour to get to my job. And I work at a bank, so I'll go to the bank, and there I will meet with my boss. The first thing I do in the morning is meet with my boss. And then her and I have a conversation about the goals for the day, what things we need to accomplish. Do we have any meetings with other people at the bank? She will also usually give me some things that I can think about and work on throughout the day. Then I will have the morning part of the day. Usually we have meetings with other people in the bank. Then I'll have lunch. Then I'll finish my day. And after I'm finished work at the bank, I'll go to the gym and I'll train jiu-jitsu. So that usually will be about 2 hours of training, and then I'll head home. Or usually, if I can, I'll shower at the gym. I'll head home, have dinner, and off to bed.
Question 3. I heard you spent time in Costa Rica in Canada. How did you end up moving all the way to Bulgaria to train and compete?
Well, I'm actually born in Bulgaria, so it was kind of going back to my roots. I was born in Bulgaria, then my parents moved to Canada, and I lived in Canada, studied at university, and then I traveled quite a bit. I lived in Costa Rica, Nicaragua. I also even lived in China. Did you know that? No, I lived in China for a while teaching English as well. So I really wanted to explore the world and see many different cultures and learn many different things. And then I was ready to sort of go back to my roots, go back to my culture, and I went back to Bulgaria, and I found a lot of really good friends there. So I think I went back because of the people. I really like the people in Bulgaria, and that's where I decided to train.
Question 4. Did you have a special moment or a turning point in your journey? Where did you realize, wow, I can be really, really great at this?
I did, actually. So when I first started jiu-jitsu at 22, like I told you earlier, I didn't have any competitive ambition. I was just doing it because it was fun. It was a fun way to exercise and stay healthy, play with my friends instead of go to the gym and run the treadmill. And then I was in Nicaragua and I signed up for a competition in Guatemala. And I went there, but it happened that there was nobody signed up in my category. So when you do jiu-jitsu, you sign up for a certain weight category. So we compete in different weights. And then obviously it would have to be girls. So there were no girls of my weight and there was nobody for me to compete with. So my coach approached another girl that was there to do a super fight. So a super fight is when you are invited specifically for one other opponent. So you have one fight for the day. So she already had her super fight and my coach approached her and said, hey, we don't have any competitors in our bracket. Would you please have one match with my competitor, because she came all the way here to Guatemala, but there's no one to compete with. And so she said, sure. She was at the time a purple belt and I was a blue belt. So the belting system in Jiu-Jitsu goes white, blue, and then purple. So technically she was more advanced than I was. And the year before that, she had been a blue belt world champion. So she was the best in the world at blue belt. And now she was already progressed to purple belt. So I had this match, and actually, I didn't do half bad. She won the match, but I actually did quite well. I threatened her with some submissions. I just felt like it was a really good match. And so I thought to myself, my goodness, I haven't really been competing, like I haven't been training like I want to be a competitor. And yet I did quite well against this world champion. She's now more advanced than me, but I still did really well. Maybe I could really be good at this. If I really apply myself, if I really focus on what I want, maybe I could really do well. So that was the moment when it first occurred to me that I could be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitor.
Question 5. You became a European no-gi champion. What did it feel like to stand on the podium with the gold medal around your neck and your flag behind you?
That was an amazing feeling. And if you look at the picture, you can see it on my face with a massive smile. It was great to reach that level of accomplishment and to know that I had a good day and I performed well. I represented my team well, and most of all, that I made myself and my coach proud. So that was a wonderful memory, and I will never forget that day.
Question 6. Besides being an amazing fighter, you also studied science at university and worked at a bank. What's your secret to being both a super smart in school and super strong on the mat?
Thank you for that compliment, but I don't actually see myself as super smart or super strong on the mats. I think my success comes from perseverance. That's a little bit of a big word, but it basically means that I just work hard. So whenever I decide I want to accomplish something, I set myself on that path and I just work really hard. When I was in school, I had to work really hard, and when I'm training, I have to work really hard. I would say even harder than most people. So in order to achieve anything, I've just had to work really hard. So I have really good work ethic.
Question 7. You and your husband started your very own gym called Asylum. Why did you want to open a gym, and what makes it a special place?
Well, when I was finished competing, I set my sights on the future. What's for me next in the sport? And I think a lot of people answer that question by saying mentoring, coaching. You want to help build the next generation of champions. Maybe somebody who can outdo what I have already done. So maybe somebody who can be not just a European champion, but a world champion. So that was the motivation to open the gym. And also we became parents. So we wanted to create a place for our little boy to eventually train. He's too little now, but we want to lay the groundwork so that when he is ready to train, there is a big team for him to train with. What makes it special? Our gym is special because it's a community. So a lot of gyms for combat sports have a lot of boys and men in them. But because I'm an active competitor, or I was an active competitor, and I'm a black belt, I also have the opportunity to bring girls into this sport, more women who want to try it. It's actually a great sport for women as well. And we have a big kids program, and we also have a sponsorship program for youth. So we offer sponsorship to youth between 14 and 16 years of age, and they can come and train absolutely for free with us. And this is with the idea that we want to give them the opportunity to try the sport and start out on a good path, right? So kids around 14 to 16 years of age make some mistakes. They start to dabble in bad habits, and we just want to give them an opportunity to not do that. We want them to do healthy things like exercise and train a sport. So I think our gym is pretty special. It's a community. There's men, women, and kids, and we're hoping to create the right environment to create the future champions.
Question 8. Since you're on maternity leave right now, how do you balance being a mom, working at a bank, and training?
If I have to be completely honest, I don't think there's very much balance right now. My baby is only 5 months and my whole life revolves around him. So because I'm on maternity leave, I'm not working. So my employer has given me the opportunity to take the time to focus on my baby, which I'm very, very grateful for. And when it comes to training, I have started training again, but much more rarely than I used to. Before I had my baby, I was training at least 6 times a week. Some days I was even doing 2 sessions per day. So I would train in the morning and then train at night. So on average, if I was competing, I would get maybe 10 training sessions a week. Now, I'm training just a mere 3 times a week, and only if I can manage it. So it basically depends on whether the baby is feeling good, and then I'll try and train. And the reason I did that is because I consider sport and exercise to be an important part of being healthy. And I need to be healthy to take care of my baby. So I started training again to try and get back to a healthy lifestyle. All in all, I don't think there's any very much balance right now, but that's okay because he's the most important thing right now.
Question 9. For kids listening who have never tried Jiu-Jitsu, how would you explain what it is? Why is it good for kids to learn?
Jiu-Jitsu is a super fun sport. It's like wrestling around with your friend. I think it's really good for kids to learn Jiu-Jitsu for a number of reasons. The first reason is scientists have done some studies and they have found that the most well-rounded athletes come from 2 areas of sport. One area is gymnastics, the one that you train, and the other area is martial arts. So in addition to your physical abilities, martial arts develop other things like discipline, like the ability to work with a partner, ability to follow instructions. I mean, these are things that you can learn in many sports, but I think martial arts emphasizes on that a lot more than other sports. And so I think it teaches not only physical abilities, but a lot of mental skills that are important for life. And it's also super fun. Like I said, when I first started doing jiu-jitsu, I did it because I wanted a healthy hobby that is also fun. So you have friends and you wrestle around with your friends, and before you know it, you've done some exercise for the day.
Question 10. You qualified for a massive event in Polaris and got to fight the #1 athlete in the world on TV. What goes through your mind right before you step out under those bright lights?
Well, if I have to be honest, right before you step under the bright lights, it's a little bit of a battle between your body and your mind. So your body is usually overstimulated, maybe anxious, maybe excited. So, your heart is pumping, you can feel it go fast. Your body is overstimulated. And now your mind is trying to rein all that in. It's trying to calm everything down so that you can stay focused and you can perform well. Right before I get on the mat, usually I'll try and tell myself that I can't control the outcome. So I can't control if I win or lose. That's out of my control. What I can control is how I perform. So I'll tell myself, stay active, keep moving during the fight, don't stall, don't sit around and wait for something to happen, make things happen. So yeah, right before I get on the mat, that's what I'm thinking. Stay active, make things happen, and just have fun.
Question 11. What is your absolute favorite part of this career so far?
There's maybe 3 defining moments. The first one was when I received my black belt from my husband and coach. That was very special because it's an acknowledgement that I have reached a certain level of expertise in the sport, a certain level of knowledge. After that, it was definitely winning the European No-Gi Championship and getting that gold medal. That was a very memorable moment in my life. And finally, qualifying for Polaris. That was a really good competition day that I had. I submitted 5 girls in 5 matches, which is pretty tough to do. And then I had the opportunity to face the #1 athlete in the world, which is pretty exciting as well.
Question 12. What has been the biggest challenge you've had to overcome?
The biggest challenge I've had to overcome, probably being an athlete and working full-time at the same time. Being an athlete is very demanding physically and mentally, and I also have had to have a full-time job because I started jiu-jitsu so late. I started jiu-jitsu in my adulthood, so I've had to earn a living while also competing. The younger you start, the less you have to worry about that part, and you can just focus on becoming the best athlete you can be.
Question 13. If you could time travel and give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
I would tell myself to be more coachable. Being coachable means listening to the advice that your coach gives you, because your coach always has your best interest at heart. They want you to perform your best. They want you to reach the highest possible success. So listen to their advice and try to implement it the best that you can. I think that's very important. You also have to maintain your confidence and be sure of yourself and be sure of your abilities, but certainly listening to your coach is only going to make you better.
Question 14. To wrap up our interview, what is one piece of advice you want to give to all the kids listening at home who want to find their own path and become champions of life?
Becoming a champion usually isn't a straight line. So what I mean by that is most champions have had failures along the way. They have stumbled. They have had things that didn't go their way. The most important thing is just to keep going. Keep having faith that you can reach whatever goal you have set out to achieve, and just keep going forward. Don't be afraid of failure, because failure is just a building block to success.
Joe, thank you so much for joining me today. I love learning more about your journey, and I know all the listeners are going to be inspired by your story. Thank you for taking the time to be on Audrey Pathfinder.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an honor to be interviewed by someone so insightful as yourself.
Now it's time for the official Pathfinder career rating, where I rate every career across 3 categories. Preparation level. How much training, schooling, or experience do you need for this career? I give it a 5 out of 5 gold star rating. It takes years of training to get to a black belt and champion. Impact level. How much does this career help people and make a difference in the community? I give it a 3.9 gold star rating because it's good for the kids and teen to exercise in a sport. The Audrey Fit. How much I'd personally enjoy this career. I give it a 3.5 gold star rating because I personally would not want to do this because there's a lot of falling. A quick shout out to my sister's podcast, Olivia's Book Nook, where she shares book reviews and recommendations. Go check it out. Thank you again to Jo for sharing her journey with us today. And thank you to all the kids and families listening. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep building your own path. See you next time.